Just gotta love the sounds of the violin here echoing through the halls of the Shaw TV studios. It's the show right here on Shaw TV. My name is Matt Carter. Welcome to episode number 138, the second episode of our 7th season, again here on Shaw TV. Our musical guest right in behind me, Quin Etheridge-Pedden. His house is called the Penitentiary. And he's also known as Quin with one N, but he's also got one bow, 4 strings, and a whole lot of talent on the fiddle, which explains his nomination for Young Performer of the Year with the 2017 Canadian Folk Music Awards. We're going to meet the one N Quin later on this hour, and of course, hear tunes throughout the show. Also in the show, we're going to look at a number of events combining arts, culture, and fundraising. In one segment, we actually have a second bonus violinist in the house to help to promote a late October musical showcase for the community food bank, Loaves and Fishes. Looking forward to that. Also later on, we're going to find out about an event billed as Amazing Grace Benefit Concert featuring a huge lineup of artists at Our Savior Lutheran Church in Parksville, and that is in support of the Manna Homeless Society. Now, the ever-gratifying, gratiating, and hunger-satiating extravaganza, the Bite of Nanaimo, is back for its 25th year this year to offer up some fine eats and the fine beverages in support of TheatreOne. And to echo the legendary prophets Ren and Stimpy, Appies, Appies, Joy, Joy, Appies, Appies, Joy, Joy. All right, so we're also going to answer the question on the show, what are the Canadian Army Reserves? Well, I can't answer that question because I'm not usually called reserved, and also the only colonel I've ever served is a bowl of popcorn. However, we have a captain here who will let us know what being a citizen soldier is all about. As part of our recurring Seniors Connect series, we're going to find out what is happening at the 9th Annual Health and Wellness Fair put on by the Nanaimo Seniors Services Network. This fair is going to highlight many products and services for healthy aging. My way of healthy aging is jogging to the fridge to get a beer, but I'm guessing that probably will not be on tap for there, but hey, I'm always eager to learn some new tricks. But first up on the program, this Samaritan house in Nanaimo, which provides some vital crisis services. They're absolutely busting at the seams, but there is a plan to help out with that. So we're going to find out about that and find out how you can help and how you can get involved. You're in the house, we're in the house, it's the show right here on Shaw TV.
Yes, as Matt was saying in the intro, there's definitely a concern for homelessness in our community, and the residence for homeless women in Nanaimo is Samaritan House. And today I'm really pleased to be talking with Violet Hayes, who is the Executive Director of Island Crisis Care Society, and Ronelle Bosman, I hope I've said your name correctly, who is the Program Director, I believe, for Samaritan House. So I know that you folks are working really hard to expand the accommodation for people in the situation who come to Samaritan House, and that you're starting off with a campaign that's going to be launched shortly. Would you like to tell us a bit about that, Violet?
Sure. Back in 2012, we purchased the lot next door to Samaritan House because it's a very small house, about 100 years old. And so we've been working on a plan. We now have the development permit and plan to expand to well over double what we have currently. Okay. The need is huge. Yeah, in August alone, we had 111 turnaways.
So that means 111 people were not able to get in?
Not necessarily 111 people, but it's 111 times we've turned women away. Oh, and wow. When we turn them away, where are they going? Yeah, they have to sleep on the streets.
So that's very difficult for your staff as well to have to say no to people who are in that kind of need. Yeah. Yeah. And so I was wondering, Ronelle, if you could tell us a little bit about the facilities, the current facilities that you have at Samaritan House.
Yeah, sure. We have 14 shelter beds that's funded by BC Housing, and then we have 6 support units or transition units that it's just a room that women actually rent from us. Okay. And then there's 24/7 staff, and there's a meal daily for them. Okay. So when people come to the door, because we are the only homeless emergency shelter for women in Nanaimo. Any time of the day, 24/7, there's staff, and they could come knock on the door, and we'll try to just help them and try to meet their basic needs.
So there's room for 20 currently, right?
20 people, but we have, the last few months, we really had so many turnaways that we actually put mats on the floor, and we're a very small little shelter. There's a lot of small rooms, so between the washer and dryer, where the phone area is, in the dining room, anywhere we could, we actually had put up to 6 mattresses down. Okay. That's not ideal, but it's really tough to close the door and say, sorry, we're full.
So with the expansion that you folks have in mind for Samaritan House, and I know you were also at Island Crisis Care overseeing, if you will, 4 other houses, but focusing on Samaritan House, you say that how much more do you think you'll be able to accommodate with your expansion?
Well, the goal is definitely that we don't have to turn people away.
Okay.
But we also want to do so much more, like to be able to teach the life skills and help the women to grow so that they're ready to be out on their own. Because so many times the women that come to us have experienced a lot of trauma in their lives. They may be fleeing an abusive relationship, there may be an addiction issue or a mental health issue, and they're not ready yet to go out. So the beauty of what we've been able to do is to move them through the steps. Initially in the shelter, we can just kind of get to know them a little bit and then move them into a transition suite. And then we have other programs that we can move them through. And
so that's what the transition suite is to sort of get them the services and maybe lifestyle skills. Okay, very interesting.
Maybe they've never been taught, if they've been living on the streets for a long time, they probably don't know how to cook a meal, how to budget, how to get ready to find a job, all those things we want to be able to help them. And in our current location, we just don't have the space.
It's just gotten to a critical mass, if you will, for expansion needs. And with the campaign that you're starting, you've created a website. I really love the name of this website, moreroomforhope.ca. I think that's a wonderful way to remember to go there to donate. Is the site live now?
It is live now. We're just in the early stages of the campaign. We're just getting organized and putting things together. So this is like one of our first interviews, and we're really excited to be starting the campaign, and more will be coming in the future. I think the one thing that has really struck me as we've seen these huge numbers in our community lately is the number of seniors that are accessing our house. And that's heartbreaking. You know, maybe Renelle can talk to that a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost half of the women that access our shelter is 50 and older. We had women as old as 72, 85. And today, actually, there was 4 new people that came to the door that we've never seen before. All older women, and it's really heartbreaking to know that, you know, it's somebody's sister, somebody's mother, somebody's daughter that comes to the door, and it's just financial challenges. It's really hard to find housing and safe housing in Nanaimo. So to really, you know, close the door on them and say, sleep outside tonight, we can't help you. The success that I've seen with moving people from the shelter to our transition home suites is that, you know, there is stability for them. It's not, okay, I need to be out again on the street and I can come back later. There is a possibility that I can actually have a place, I can have a key to my own room, I can have a meal, I have support when I need that. And I've seen amazing successes of women that has constantly coming and going into the shelter, but with this extra support and this transition suite, there is stability that helps them to move from, you know, a year or 2 later from that room into something else in the community, and it gives them time. It takes the stress away from being on the street. Gives them time.
So, if we have to sum it up, it's a chance. It's hope. There's hope for these people when they come to your Samaritan house. And I just want to remind people that's what's in the name of the website address. More Room for Hope. Let's give more room so that these people have more hope in our community. Thank you both for being here today. Thank you. Next, I would like to throw to Matt so that he can talk to his next guests.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much, Joanne. And thank you, Renelle and Violet, for being here as well. Really buoyed to see so much planning and effort going into expanding Samaritan House, such a valuable support space here in Nanaimo. And as Joanne also said, get involved. You can help increase the hope here in Nanaimo. All right, we're going to turn our attention now to a musical endeavor with the aim of helping feed those in need. And I've got 2 guests. I'm introducing one of our guests a little bit later on. But first, right now, one of the doctors of rock and roll and one of the teachers of jazz and swing, the music instructor at Barsby Secondary School. Ruster, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Matt.
Really stoked to have you here. So tell us, what was the impetus for putting this October music showcase together?
Well, the MGM restaurant had sponsored a fundraiser a couple of years ago, and we found that it was very successful. So this year, I decided to do it again. And one of the things that we want to do is we want to showcase the musical talent. Several of the regular entertainers at the MGM will be performing, along with also some young guests and etc.
I want to talk about those guest entertainers in a moment, but first, the MGM, folks obviously know it as a restaurant, but they've actually been quite supportive. I know they've had like Latin and salsa dance events and much more things going on music and entertainment wise too.
Absolutely. Yeah, they used to have dance lessons there. They actually host I know, like a bridge club, and so it really branches out to the community.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to throw these names at you here on the entertainment list. So just say a few words about each of them. First, Mark Gallivan.
Mark Gallivan is a guitar player, and he does guitar and singing.
All right, let's get this pronunciation wrong. Rice or Reese Vink?
Let's try Reese.
Reese, there we go.
Reese Vink. Reese Vink is probably one of the most well-known accordion players in town.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Reese is really good. He plays all sorts of tunes right from, the 40s up to the 60s and 70s, and yeah, he's very good.
And also speedy piano player Marty Steele we've had here on the show before.
Oh yeah, Marty's the best. He can play any style. As you know, he can play any style, and you just ask him to play a song and boom, it's there.
Exactly. And then your group there, the Doctors of Rock and Roll.
That's right, yeah. The Doctors of Rock and Roll, classic rock and roll. Come on down, music for your soul.
Right. And then now let's talk about our, mention some of the young guests. First off, Emily Bork.
Emily Bork. Actually, Emily is a singer, also too. She has done some work with the burlesque troupe. She's a former grad from Woodlands, and she's had some original compositions.
All right, and another guest we also have here on the show, Maya Harbo. Before you hear a song, tell us about Maya.
Well, Maya is a grade 7 student from Mountain View Elementary, and this young lady has done some incredible things for fundraising events, and she busks, and she does all sorts of wonderful things.
Perfect. All right, we'll talk to Maya here in a moment, but first we're going to let her loose on the violin as well, playing the Concerto in B minor, op 35, third movement from Oskar. Rieding or Rieding?
I don't know, is it Rieding or Reading?
Is it Rieding or Reading?
Reading.
Or Reading. So there we go. Now we have learned as well. Now we've been taught. So Maya, over to you again for the Concerto in B minor. round of applause here in the Shaw TV studios. My Harbo, again, one of the artists playing at the October Musical Showcase at the MGM restaurant in support of Loaves and Fishes, Saturday, October 28th, 5:10 p.m. We'll wrap up here quickly. Russ, I have a question for you. Maya, I was going to ask you really quickly here. Russ had mentioned you've done a bunch of music for fundraisers and the like. So how does it make you feel to be able to contribute music to fundraising purposes?
Well, I really like performing for people, and I think that it's nice that I can do that and help people at the same time.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you so much for being part of this, Loaves and Fishes.
Thank you.
Keep it up. The music is awesome. Thank you so much. All right, it's my Harbo again, much more. Russ, one last quick word with you before we move on. How can people get tickets to the event?
You can get them at the MGM restaurant, and they're available now, and also they'll be selling them the night of.
Perfect. All right, so again, that's the October Musical Showcase at the MGM restaurant in support of Loaves and Fishes, Saturday, October 28th from 5 to 10 p.m. All right, thank you very much, Russ. Am I up next now? The only army that I've ever dealt with before is the Legion of Army Ants that was in the last rental property I lived in. So let's think much, much cleaner and actually learn what makes up the Army Reserves. Lieutenant Cathy Holmes, over to you, reporting for duty.
I have to tell you, Matt, you give me way, way too much credit. The credit belongs to Maya and Russ. The Loaves and Fishes are so lucky to have her on board for sure. So with me is actually Captain Sergeant Breckendale. He is the Army Reserve Recruitment Officer for Vancouver Island, and he looks awesome in a kilt. Welcome. Thanks so much for coming. We really appreciate having you here.
Thanks, Cathy. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about what your organization does and the various different components to it?
Absolutely. So the Canadian Armed Forces, as most people know, has three distinct branches: the Army, the Air Force, and the Reserve. And they now have the monikers Royal Canadian Air Force, Royal Canadian Navy, and the Canadian Army. So those people are typically full-time. The Reserves are part-time. So what our role is to augment the regular force when needed. So the armed forces are charged with the defense of Canada, supporting NATO, various UN peacekeeping missions, NORAD, and aid to civil power when necessary. So the reserves, what we do is when we're asked to, is we provide support to those operations as required. So for example, this last summer with the BC forest fires, the armed forces were requested to assist, and we had almost 20% participation from various reserve units, not only here in BC, but in Alberta and Saskatchewan as well. So that's one way that people in the local community are participating and helping out their fellow Canadians in a time of need. So the reserves are basically, well, part-time. We work from September till May, usually one night a week and then one weekend per month. And then we have summer training, which typically would take us off the island for several weeks. And of course, all uniforms and such are paid for. And then we come back and we go about our regular business. Now, a lot of people think, oh, do I have to quit my job? Can I have a family? Yes. You don't have to quit your job. You maintain that. We have people that are financial advisors that work for various organizations, plumbers, carpenters, run their own businesses here in Nanaimo. And we have 3 reserve units is what I'd like to talk about today.
Well, wow. I mean, I had no idea there was so much involved in that. So how does a person decide that they want to get involved with the reserves?
Right. So the reserves are part-time. You can go on to the website www.forces.ca, and that actually has all the information about both full-time and part-time positions. Mm-hmm. And then there's an area where you can look at reserve opportunities. And in Nanaimo, there are 3 units. We have an artillery regiment, 5th Field Regiment. We have an infantry unit, the Canadian Scottish Regiment, that I'm a part of. And then we also have a signals unit, which is 39 Signals Squadron. So all of them do different things, but we all work together as a team, and that's very important in our organization, is to develop teamwork. So the artillery, you've probably heard them at the Nanaimo Marine Festival or on Remembrance Day. They fire the big gun to start the launch of things, but they have a real role, and it's very important to us in a military capacity. Our signals folks, they're the communicators, very technical. Mm-hmm. They deal with all sorts of things from satellite radios to VHF and ultra VHF communications, and can have comms from here to the upper Arctic and all places around the world. And that supports the commander so that he can control his forces when they're in the field.
So are there a lot of people that are a part of one area of the forces, or are you, when I hear you say that they're kind of combined, I'm a little bit confused. Is it, if you join one area of the reserves, does that mean you've joined them all, or does that mean you've only joined one Nanaimo branch of it?
So when a person decides to enroll in the Canadian Forces, they're a member of the Canadian Forces. They may be a member of the reserve component, which is part-time, and then they can choose a specific job occupation, whether that's going to be as a communicator, as an infantry person, or even we have supply technicians. Those are the people that get us our bullets and our beans so that we can eat. We have people that move vehicles and so on. So you would enroll in that, and then you would get your training from us so that you can obviously be functional. So our minimum requirements are to be 16 years of age, but only with parental or guardian consent, and you have to be enrolled in full-time school with a minimum of grade 10 education. And you can enroll right up to the age of 57.
Oh, much
so
longer
that's
then.
an opportunity for people out there. In fact, one of the clerks that I had in the signal squadron joined in her mid-40s, loved it, wished she'd joined sooner. And you know, she just released due to age, because we do have age restrictions, but she really did enjoy it. For students, this is a great opportunity because it's up to $2,000 a year of educational reimbursement that a person can get for up to 4 years, so that's $8,000. Wow. Plus, you're also working part-time, starting at over $90 a day in terms of wages, and you have the opportunity to travel and do things that you just can't do in any other job. Plus, we have reserve opportunities in over 100 communities across Canada. So if you decide to move to Victoria or go across the country, there's likely a job that you could just slide into on the other part of the coast or wherever you would choose to be. So you can maintain that employment. I've been serving as a reservist for over 25 years. Wow. And it's taken me across the world and across this country, and it's just been a great opportunity.
Well, thank you, Captain. It has been such a pleasure to have you with us, and there's so much information there. Unfortunately, we have to go, but there is hope. There's a number at the bottom of the screen, so someone can contact you about becoming involved.
Absolutely.
And that. Thank you. That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure indeed. All right, we're off to, and while you're considering whether or not you want to become a part of this, and it sounds like it's a terrific opportunity for people of all ages, I invite you to have a listen to Lenora's reel with Quin with one N, Etheridge-Pedden. Thanks so much.
Quin with one N, Etheridge-Pedden there with Lenora's reel. Celtic musicians always keeping it real, as it were. I gotta get me a loop pedal. That's really awesome. All right, stay tuned. I'll be chatting with Quin in about 7 minutes' time about his music and what's going on with him there. But first, I'm very excited to talk more about music by letting you know of a very cool show coming up at the Arrington War Memorial Hall, which is a great place to catch a show, by the way. You should really check that out. Get ready for some spicy salsa music as Adonis Puentes comes to town with the Voice of Cuba Orchestra. Adonis, he was actually born in Cuba but raised here in BC. He actually has Juno and Grammy nominations to his name. He actually performs all around the world. He's from a very talented musical family. His dad, a very well-known musician in Cuba. And you may have also heard of his talented fraternal twin brother, goes by the name of Alex Cuba, who's, again, very well-known, performed lots around here as well. So if you love the spirit, passion, and skill involved in performing salsa music and Latin jazz, or just Heck, if you're like my man Howie and just love to dance, check out Adonis Puentes and the Voice of Cuba Orchestra with special guest North Vancouver's Ilhan Sefarali. That's happening Saturday, October 21st at the Arrington War Memorial Hall. Again, an amazing place to catch a show, and that is an 8 p.m. show there. Tickets are available for that extravaganza at Cranky Dog Music, Heaven on Earth Natural Foods, and the Arrington Store. And we're going to keep talking about music here in the Oceanside region here on the show as Jane gets a preview of a multi-artist show and fundraiser coming up in Parksville. So Jane, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Matt. Wow, the show just seems to be filled tonight with the importance of homelessness. It's coming up again and again as a subject, and we have so many wonderful benefits happening in our community to aid the initiatives. When the fall weather turns and we're all nice and warm and cozy, people who are homeless, it's a challenging time to find food and shelter and clothing just to survive. And the Manna Homeless Society of Oceanside has a ministry that does really good work in the community, and they are here today to share information with us on how the community is coming together through a musical event to provide support to those in need. My guests today are Pastor Mark Smith of the Our Savior Lutheran Church and Gerald Paitko, Community Chaplain of the Manna Homeless Society. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I know you've got a wonderful event coming up. Mark, would you like to give us a little more information about it?
Sure. Well, to celebrate what we call the Reformation, its 500th anniversary, rather than do something for ourselves, we decided to have a concert. That concert consists of a whole group of different singers, vocalists, musicians, piano players, even a pipe band. And they will be with us on Sunday, November the 5th at 3 p.m. at our church, Our Savior Lutheran Church. Now what we'd like to do is ask for those people who come to attend, and it's open to everyone, that they would bring a donation. That donation, rather than keeping it in-house, we want to share it. That's our celebration of joy. Share it with Manna Ministries.
That sounds like an amazing initiative. You mentioned, you have quite an amazing array of musicians. We probably don't have time to go through every one of them today, but it looks like it's going to be quite a lineup at the concert. And as you said, admission is by donation to benefit the Manna Homeless Society. Gerald, I was really moved today. I had the opportunity to watch the video that was shared about a day in the life of a Manna volunteer. And I have to say that the work that your ministry does in the community is just blew my mind, to be quite frank. I was wondering if you could tell me a little more about the types of donations you would like people who come to the concert at the church to bring to benefit the people in Oceanside community.
Absolutely. Well, we're so thankful that the Lutheran Church is helping us like this. This is just fantastic. And what we do is Saturday mornings, we have 3 vehicles that go out and we help and we encourage people with different products that people have been giving to us. And one of the key things we're looking for now in the fall are bicycles. We're looking for sturdy bikes with a rack on the back so that people can ride to work interviews, or they can ride to doctor interviews, or they can ride back home or get groceries or things like that. And now with the fall coming, we're needing toques and winter jackets and lots of socks, lots of gloves, and and all the time we're needing food, like canned tuna or canned sardines. These give easy things for people to open and to eat right away.
Okay. One of the things that I was intrigued by is that you have these mobile, you have like an RVs and you have vans, and they're all filled, even medical equipment. You guys are going out and you're helping people with nail and foot care and things like that. So anyone, where do people find your services?
Every Saturday morning, we're at the park on Jensen Road. That's kitty corner from where the fire hall is in Parksville, and we're set up there 9:30 to about 11 o'clock, and people can come any Saturday and drop off donations into our big cube van, and that's where we collect our donations, and then from there we sort them and distribute them to the other vehicles and go from there.
One of the other things that really struck me when I was watching the video was the amount of compassion and empathy with which you serve the community. You know, the ability that the volunteers in your organization have to make people feel so welcome, and everything is so wonderful. So I just really want to commend you both for the services that you're providing to the people in Oceanside. And don't forget, everyone, make sure you head out to see the Amazing Grace, a concert of Christian music on Sunday, November the 5th at the Our Savior Lutheran Church in Parksville at 3 p.m. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very, very much, Jane. And I think you said that really well. Commend is a great word. Definitely should be commended on that great partnership between faith, service, and music. Really doing great stuff for the community there. So thank you very much, Jane, Mark, and Gerald, for coming on the show and talking about that. All right, so I am loving all this music talk here on the show on Shaw TV, and it's time to meet our featured musical guest now. 2017 Canadian Folk Music Award nominee and fiddlist extraordinaire, Quin, 1N Etheridge-Pedden. Quin, welcome, very welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. It's wonderful.
Great to have seen you here with Fidelium, the trio you played with, and now doing your solo stuff. So we need to, of course, talk about the Quin with 1N. So,
well, since I was little, my real name is Quinton, but if you shorten it, like a nickname, it would be Quin. And if you take the T-O-N, which is on the end, off, you don't have two N's like they normally spell it. So it's just Quin with one N.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I told you before the show, I had a friend of mine named Scott with only one T because his dad spelled it wrong on his birth certificate. So I want to make sure that wasn't your case there. No, all good there. All right, so let's talk about, obviously a very talented fiddlist here, fiddle player. You started off taking violin lessons back at the age of 6.
Yeah.
Was that hard to get into? Do you remember?
Well, the reason I started is because I was listening to a lot of violin, and so I was pretty passionate about it even at that young age, and so I think I was pretty motivated, but I don't know.
Nice. Well, it's obviously hard work is shown off. One of the things I noticed in your bio, though, is that you started taking what they call violin lessons, but it became apparent you were actually a fiddle player. So maybe the folks who don't know, explain the difference between violin and fiddle, either as instrument or style.
Yeah, well, the violin and fiddle are the same instrument, but the violin is classical music, and fiddle is kind of like kind of folk or country. And so I started out playing violin, but I found the music to me wasn't as fun as playing fiddle music. And so I would never practice my violin, but I would always pick up my fiddle. So that's just what I stuck with.
Well said, love it. Let's jump up now to this year, 2017. Back in May, you released your first album called Embark, recorded on Protection Island. Yeah. What are some of your takeaways from the studio recording experience?
Oh, it was so much fun. Like, even though it took hours and hours, every hour I was doing it, I was always having fun, just with the people I recorded with just everyone. Yeah. And some of the tunes on the album are your own compositions as well, correct? Yeah. Two of which I have played one already today, and I'm going to be playing another one later. And the third one is actually going to be on my next album, which I'm already preparing for. But no time to slow down. I was going to ask about so what's next? So another recording project. And that's set for what, next year, this year? I haven't really set. I'm still in the kind of working things out phase, but I haven't really set a date. Well, I probably jumped away a little ahead here. Mentioned off the top again, you're nominated for a Canadian Folk Music Award, Young Performer of the Year, based on the Embark album. Yeah. I know the winners will be announced in November. But I want to ask you, who was the most excited to hear about your nomination, you or someone else? Surprisingly not me. I mean, I was excited. It was really great news. But yeah, my mom, she's my biggest supporter, so she was very excited for me. Nice. Is there any plans to actually go out to the awards ceremony then for that? Or? I think we're thinking about it, but we're not totally sure because it's all the way in Ottawa. Yeah. Bit of a trek indeed. Yeah. All right, so we're getting the wrap up here. We mentioned Fidelium, again, recently before the Nanaimo Child Development Center, so I just wanted to bring that in because we saw my early playing fiddle. Also, you've also given your time music to worthwhile causes. The new CD awards, where can people find more about your awards, your music, and yourself? I guess on the website would be the best place to send folks to? Yeah, definitely. It's quinwith1n.com. Perfect. All right, so head on there. As mentioned, we're going to do some more songs, including an original composition now, 90-Year Adventure. What is this song about? This song I wrote a few years ago for my grandpa. He turned 90, and I surprised him in Ontario, and with this song that I wrote him. Very cool. All right, Quin with 1N, Etheridge-Pedden, for you here
on the show on Shaw TV. Take it away.
There are 15,837 persons over the age of 65 who live in Nanaimo. Because of Seniors Connect, we are trying very hard to reduce social isolation for a vast majority of people that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to come out into the community and join all kinds of wonderful festivities. With me is Teresa Ostman from the Nanaimo Senior Services Network, and she is going to tell us a little bit about a fantastic opportunity to bring some people out and have a really great time at the Nanaimo Senior Services Network's Health and Wellness Fair on November the 1st. Welcome. Thanks, Teresa.
Thank you, Cathy. It's great to be here.
It's nice to have you. You guys have been working so hard on putting together an incredible event. I think it's the 9th annual event. Is that right?
It is the 9th, and we're bringing it back to Bevan Park, and so it's going to be bigger and better than ever. It's really exciting. It really is the place to research products and services for healthy aging, and healthy aging is so important. We all want to stay really well. So there's going to be over 40 exhibitors.
Yes.
There's flu shots, there's blood pressure testing. We're going to have a high tea with fine bone china, so bring your mothers and grandmothers out for that with the little sandwiches and all that great stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
We have door prizes and entertainment, and then the Community Champion Awards are also going to be presented. And I believe we're having some dignitaries there too, but don't let that scare you away, because it's going to be great. Yeah.
And there's something like, I think right now we have about 25 or 30 people that are registered exhibitors.
Yes.
And some of those exhibitors are members of the Nanaimo Services Network. People like Mel from the pharmacy.
Yeah, from the medicine shop.
Yeah.
He's on Departure Bay.
Great.
Yeah, he's got a great program, and he's got a program as a pharmacy at home, and that's really good for seniors to find out about, because they don't have to go to the pharmacy. The pharmacist will actually come and visit the people in their homes and go through their prescriptions and that sort of thing. Some of the other exhibitors that we have are hearing clinics, just really important to for that industry to be represented. We've got a lot of the social services that are available to seniors in our community. We've got Canada Revenue Agency to find out what some of the benefits are from that side too, on the finance side, and just a wide variety of things. And it's going to be just a really great show. It's on November 1st, so mark your calendars. It's actually the final event of Seniors Month, and the Mayor of Nanaimo proclaimed October as Seniors Month here in Nanaimo. Yes. And the whole month long we've got Senior Celebrate events, and November 1st is the finale, and it's going to be the big bang where we're expecting hundreds of seniors to come out and really research products and services that are here in the community, and there's lots of them.
And it's more than just, you know, the show part. It's there's speakers that are coming, there's the tea, there's so much that someone could get involved in and just kind of tune in to what's happening within the community. You mentioned something about Seniors Month as well, and I know with the Seniors Connect project and the multi-partnerships that we have with other organizations, that there are events that are free throughout the entire month. You are the health and wellness expert right now.
Yes.
You do wellness news.
Yes,
is there information within wellness news about the various different events?
Yeah, absolutely. The wellness news, it's published monthly, and it is available in doctors' offices, pharmacies, healthcare facilities, health spas, anywhere where people who are seeking health and wellness can be found. Wonderful. And there's definitely information on the Seniors Month celebrations, also more information on the health fair and other things that are going on around Nanaimo, and you're going to hear about another one just in a few minutes. So.
That's fantastic. And along with the health and wellness news, where else can a person find out information about the Health and Wellness Fair?
The fair is, we have a website, it's nssn.ca, really simple. So Nanaimo Senior Services Network, nssn.ca. And there's just all kinds of information. You can order your tickets for the tea through there.
Oh, good.
And you can download an exhibit form if you would like to come and reach hundreds of seniors in our community.
Well, thank you so much, Teresa, for coming down and sharing this information. If you want more information about how you can get involved in the Health and Wellness Fair, you can certainly get a hold of us through Seniors Connect as well, through Nanaimo Family Life Association, through Nanaimo Voyager magazine, and from the Health and Wellness News, as well as Seniors Connections. So take a look around. We'll see you on November the 1st at the Health and Wellness Fair at Bevan Park from 10:30 until 3:30. And off now we go to Kerilie McDowall, and there's some information coming about some delicious food. I can't wait.
Thanks so much, Cathy. You know, we've got a really great event coming up in Nanaimo very, very shortly. It's been happening for over a quarter of a century. I'm talking about TheatreOne's fundraising event, Bite of Nanaimo, and marketing and publicity manager Nadine Weepning is here with us today. Nadine, welcome.
Thanks.
So Nadine, tell me a bit about Bite of Nanaimo. What's it all about? It's been happening for ages. It's a really great event here in Nanaimo. Tell us about it.
Sure, yeah. The Bite of Nanaimo is in its 25th year this year, as you said, and we're celebrating Canada this year. So we've given it a theme, from sea to shining sea, and the idea is that the different vendors of cafes, bistro, restaurant, brewery, bakeries, they will be representing a province, and the event will be decorated to sort of represent Canada, and that's our contribution to Canada 150 to celebrate. And so we'll have a nice variety of
Canadian cuisine, maybe?
Well, yeah, sort of focusing on the types of foods that we grow and have naturally here in our huge country. So, for example, lobster mac and cheese. Yeah. And of course, there'll be some salmon and some kind of steak, I'm sure of it, and a wide variety of vegetarian dishes, and of course, sweets and beverages as well.
Yeah, and tell me about some of the people that are participating this year from the industry, from the restaurants and food industry. Who's involved?
Well, we're really happy to have Cathy Country Kitchen. So she's a nice little, most of them are from Nanaimo. Cathy Country Kitchen, VIU Culinary, and also VIU Baking. They are big supporters. They've come every year. And we also have the Vault Cafe from downtown. So
fun place.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
And she'll be sure to concoct some beautiful appies as well as some sweets and a really nice beverage. We also have...
Sounds fun.
Oh, it's so fun. We have about 15 participants, and
is it gourmet? What kind of flavors can we expect? Like different taste of everything?
I think so. Yeah, it's basically you go and you get a 5-course meal that you concoct yourself. Of course, you can check out the menus that we'll have printed in the program that the different participants have selected just for the night. And you can have the Oxy Pub's chicken wings.
That sounds fun.
And you can try, the Cassidy Country Kitchen's lobster mac and cheese, and then there'll be some sliders, I'm sure, and there's always some delicious seafood.
Who doesn't love seafood and lobster?
Well, I should hope so if we live on the coast.
So we're encouraging everyone to get out and join this event and have some fun, enjoy the nice fall weather, and enjoy some fabulous food. Tell me about TheatreOne's actual events, the theater events happening throughout the year.
Sure. Well, the Bite of Nanaimo is our largest annual fundraiser, and it raises funds for our 4 main program areas. So our professional main stage theater series, and we have 3 shows left in the season. We're really excited. The next one's coming up in November, and it's called Sansei, the Storyteller. And then in January, we have God is a Scottish Drag Queen. The second coming.
Oh dear.
And in April, we have our production by local playwright Jennifer Wynne Weber, and it's called With Glowing Hearts. How ordinary women work together to change the world, and did. And so we're
so excited.
Fun,
a lot of comedy.
Fabulous.
Sounds like a really good time, a lot of fun, a lot of comedy with those events that you're having. Sounds like a lot of fun. So I just want to ask if people want to get involved, maybe volunteer, can they call you and get involved?
Absolutely, yes. We have space for office volunteers. So this year we have increased our volunteer base, and it's just been wonderful working with people from the community who either come into our office and help with administrative tasks, or also for the Bite of Nanaimo itself. There's a whole crew of volunteers that help to put that event on.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful. Now, I just also wanted to ask, how can people get in touch with you? You're on Facebook, you have a website. How can they get in touch?
Absolutely. Start with TheatreOne.org, our website, where you can buy tickets. And there's Matt.
So anyways, yes, about TheatreOne.
And we're on Facebook and Twitter, and you can always call us also.
Well, anyway, it's wonderful having you. Thanks so much for joining us today,
Yes,
Nadine.
thank you.
It's always fabulous to get to speak to someone like yourself about such a fantastic event. Encouraging everyone to get out and enjoy this event. It's happening October 20th at Bebben Park from 4 to 9 p.m. Get out and enjoy it. Thanks so much. I'm going to pass it along to Matt next.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Kerilie, and thanks to you again for being here as well. I mean, TheatreOne, such a wonderful organization. We'd really love to highlight orcs organizations and the like here on the show, and we can't imagine a much better. And who doesn't love to go and have great food and celebrate the best foods here in Nanaimo? So thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
I mean, there really are so many great restaurants here in Nanaimo, whether you're a seafarer or if you're a landlubber, if you're an Original Joe or Original Gina, if you're vegetarian or if you're beef eaters. Always there's good food, puts me in a food coma. I tell you, I will climb up a hilltop or swim to a dinghy dock with minnows to get good food, whether you find it from the Old City Firehouse down at the Tendori Junction on Milton Street, or over at the Lighthouse. That's about a quarter away from Gabriel and Tanya's house. I tell you, whether it's a relaxing morning or a bold night, always great food to have around here. And now I can't wait for Tomo Row to get going, so it is time to get back to the music. Maybe we can dance a mambo like we were in Boca Raton. Definitely that place is the bee's knees. So yes, before we back to our guests, applause from Howie. Thanks, buddy. Seriously, the food's here great. Deserve it. Thanks to all of our guests and hardworking volunteers and staff in front of the cameras and behind the scenes. You can find Shaw TV on Facebook, facebook.com/The Show on Shaw. It's like a steak knife right there. You can also check out previous episodes of the show on the Facebook page and also on YouTube on the Shaw TV Nanaimo YouTube page. Hey, do you have an event, cause, demonstration, or lobster mac and cheese you'd like to bring to the show? We're always looking for great Central Vancouver Island guests. Fiona's big down for that. So please drop a line to Shaw TV's Kelly Robinson. She makes really good food in Kelly's kitchen, by the way. Drop her line at kelly.robinson at sjrb.ca. If you want to volunteer for the show, join us in the crew, contact our volunteer coordinator, Melissa Hall, melissa.hall@sjrb.ca. But before we go, I'll get one more tune from our very talented musical guest, Quin, N Etheridge-Pedden, a little track called Out of the Blue. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching the show right here on Shaw TV.